As AI writing becomes ubiquitous, a new question haunts every classroom and office. Was this written by a human or a machine? One of the most popular tools for answering this question are AI detectors. To understand how they work, we first have to realize they don't actually read like we do. They aren't looking for truth or logic. Instead, they scan for a mathematical fingerprint. Imagine a detective looking not at the words of a letter, but the specific pressure of the pen on the page. The first major metric is called perplexity. It measures how surprised a language model is by the next word in a sequence. If a sentence follows a highly predictable path, the perplexity is low. It is like a game of autocomplete where the machine correctly guesses every single move you are about to make. Because AI models are trained to be helpful and clear, they naturally gravitate toward the most statistically likely word choices. This path of least resistance creates a smooth, predictable flow. To a detector, this lack of randomness is the primary red flag that a machine is at work. Humans, however, are chaotic. We use idioms incorrectly, make creative leaps, and choose surprising words that a machine would not predict. This results in high perplexity. While an AI might always say the cat sat on the mat, a human might say the feline claimed the rug as its kingdom, throwing the detector off its trail. Beyond individual words, detectors look at burstiness. This refers to the variation in sentence length and structure throughout a piece. Humans naturally vary their rhythm, mixing short, punchy sentences with long, winding ones. It is the difference between a steady heartbeat and the monotonous hum of a motor. AI-generated text often exhibits low burstiness, producing sentences of a very similar length and structure one after another. Think of it like a metronome versus a jazz drummer. When a detector sees a document where every sentence is roughly 12 words long and follows a standard pattern, it identifies a mechanical signature. These tools are not just programmed with rules. They are trained on massive datasets of labeled human and AI writing. By comparing millions of examples, the detector learns to spot the subtle, often invisible statistical differences that separate our creative output from a model's cold calculation. But here's the critical pivot. These tools do not provide a simple yes or no. They provide a probability. And that distinction changes everything. One of the most troubling issues is the rate of false positives, particularly for non-native English speakers. Because someone learning a language often uses more formal, predictable grammar and vocabulary, their writing can look statistically identical to AI. This creates a systemic bias where the most careful, structured human writing is the most likely to be wrongly accused. It is not just language learners. Technical, scientific, and legal writing are also frequently misidentified. These fields demand a specific, rigid structure and a limited vocabulary for the sake of clarity. When you remove the chaos of creative writing to be precise, you inadvertently lower your perplexity, making your work look like a machine wrote it. We are now in a permanent arms race. Detectors get better as well as AI models. It is a cycle of evolution where the line between natural and synthetic writing becomes thinner and harder to see every single day. Because of these flaws, using a detection score as the sole basis for disciplinary action is incredibly dangerous. Whether in a university or a hiring process, an algorithm should never be the final judge of a person's integrity. A high AI score should be the start of a conversation, not the end of a career or an education. Ultimately, AI detectors are helpful signals, not absolute verdicts. They can point us toward documents that need a closer look, but the final determination of authenticity must remain a human responsibility. In an AI-driven world, our best tool for finding the truth is still critical thinking, not just a percentage on a screen.